Shady, you did get really excited.
Good evening. Welcome to House of Deliverance Live, HOD Live. Let me mute this thing. I'm hearing stuff. Okay, there we go. We are here live at the HOD Live studio. Today is Friday, October the 4th, and we are here. I have my wonderful, wonderful co host, Courtney Johnson, is seated at the table. My beautiful first lady, Marie Vivado, is seated at the table. All right. We have a very live studio audience here with us. All right. All right. So we're here and we're going to first do our check in, our recommendation, roundtable check in to see what everyone has heard that they feel like passing on, to see if there's any recommendations, anything exciting First Lady, what has touched and or inspired you this week?
Something that touched and inspired me this week. I saw this. I saw somebody else use this quote before too, but it really hit me this time. It hit differently this time. So it said, "My faith is my superpower." I like that. My faith is my superpower, and that's where I'm inspiring to be. For my faith to be my superpower.
That's it. That's the whole thing. Huh?
That's it. My faith is my superpower.
My faith is my superpower. What are your other superpowers, First Lady? Besides your faith.
It wasn't me. I saw somebody say that.
Where'd you see that at?
I saw it online. Tatiana Ali, who used to be
Tatiana
on,
Cody.
No, Tatiana Ali, who used to be on the Fresh Prince.
So she said her faith is her superpower. All right. So, what else have you seen or heard?
What else have I seen or heard? Something that stuck with me.
That's very low energy, First Lady.
It is.
My faith is my superpower.
Is.
Well,
that's all I got.
That's all you got. Huh?
That's all I got.
Say yes, yes, sir. Yes, Pastor.
That's all I got. Yes, Pastor. That's all I got.
Okay, I'm gonna do my thing, and the things that I have learned. Well, my recommendations actually came from First Lady, and so she has inspired me. And yes. I had no idea that first one is I had no idea that you could order a whole basket of fries from McDonald's. We were coming home from Wednesday night Bible class. We were coming home. It wasn't Wednesday night, was it? It was Wednesday night, yeah. So I left after you. And so I said, would you like me to pick you up? Anything, First Lady? She said, I would like some fries from McDonald's. I said, sure. But she said, but I want a basket of fries. I did not know that you could order a whole basket of fries from McDonald's, but I got her a basket of fries. And then the second thing that my beautiful First Lady, my best friend, my BFF, has inspired me about, those of you who like banana splits, First Lady, there's a store called Oberweis, and Oberweis sells, in the store, they sell lemonade and ice cream and milk and whipped cream and all this other stuff. So they have a banana split that is very, very good. In fact, after the podcast, I said, First Lady, if you act right, I'll get you banana split. So I believe that's the whole reason. I believe that even after the podcast, First Lady, are we getting a banana split? Is that still on? Any comment?
Yes, sir, Pastor.
Okay.
Whatever you say.
That's right. Now they don't just have banana splits. They all have butter pecan that you liked. They have sorbet. They have smoothies. So
really
that's
good, too.
they are. So
They
we're
are
gonna
good.
go to Oberweis and get Clementine ice cream. Also has, I think, 4 new flavors for the fall. One of them that I wanted to try is a hot cinnamon. So it's a cinnamon flavored ice cream with a hint of cayenne pepper. So it makes it hot. So I want to try that. So those are my recs.
That's your right.
Basket of fries. So tonight after the podcast, I'm gonna get her a basket of fries and a banana split.
You're gonna dip your ice cream.
Well, that's what they do with
They do that.
with Wendy's with the Frosties.
Oh, they do that too. Yes.
So I'm gonna get her a basket of fries, not a
basket.
large fry, not a small fry, not a medium fry, but a basket of fries.
Okay.
So all that stuff last week, she was talking about, healthy and clean and plain and plant-based. So I guess a potato is a plant.
It is.
So that's what happened. All right, Court, you
Yes, sir.
shed some light on. Bring us back to.
Okay, so one night in Bible class, you were talking about how young adults need to break out and discover themselves and build a foundation for themselves away from the influence of those that raised them. So I come across this TikTok video, and the question was posed to a married man: who is most important, your mother, your wife, or your children? And in essence, he said, My mom always raised me to not destroy the family I make, to feed the family that I come from.
Hold on, everybody say that slowly.
Don't destroy the family that I've made to feed or fuel the family that I've come from.
Right.
And so I thought, oh, that was interesting. And then he really broke it down. He was like, my mom would not want to come before her grandchildren.
Right.
So my children would go above my mother, but my wife and I are the same. We're one,
That's
biblically
right,
speaking. So there's not an equation to fit.
Right.
So if you're following God's model, that's the way it goes. And it just brought me back to what you were saying
That's
in Bible
very
class.
good. That's
So,
a very, very good
an
video.
African man, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that Africans can't, but I was just shocked that.
That's
That's
very
right.
good.
So,
So,
Since some of them are so close to their mothers. Some men don't like to leave their
Right,
moms.
right. So yeah, very
Put the mom
insightful.
before their wife. So
Mhm.
kudos to him. I wish
Yeah.
I could clap on that. Can we get some sound effects?
Oh, you woke up.
yes, you did. This is an ASMR podcast. We don't have no sound effects, no clapping. We're offending the ears of some of our senior listeners. So I just made that up.
Yes.
It sounded good though, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It did.
So we're going to delve into the Lou. This is a segment I call "What's Going On in the Lou," where we deal with our local St. Louis area, the 314, as First Lady says, and we're going to talk about what's happening in St. Louis. This first article really, really is quite eye-opening on many different levels. Let's get to it. St. Louis woman hits sibling with car after being financially cut off, police, right? So let me ask you all a question, you wonderful, intelligent co-hosts. Where do you think this man, this woman's brother, was hit? Not on his body, I mean talking about
Location.
Yeah, location. Where did this crime occur?
Chesterfield.
Okay, First Lady.
Chesterfield.
That's okay.
Okay, Ladue.
Well,
Corps.
you're absolutely right. It
What?
happened in Ladue.
Yeah.
Ah!
Now notice it says St. Louis woman. Why didn't they put Ladue,
Ladue
woman
woman.
Right.
on the
Exactly.
thing?
Yes, you know.
So check this out. This is pretty. A St. Louis County, Missouri. A Ladue woman. By the way, shout out to Ladue School District, who has been named one of the I think it's the 6th best school district in the nation.
Congratulations.
Ladue. In
Yeah,
fact, it was
congratulations,
Ladue, and
Ladue.
Clayton was, I think Clayton was behind it.
Seven.
But Ladue
Okay.
was it 7th?
Mhm.
Okay, so Clayton and Ladue both made a
good.
national
Congratulations.
list. Okay, so a Ladue woman has been ordered to appear in court next month after allegedly hitting her brother with her car. According to Ladue Police Department's probable cause statement, the attack happened on November 8th, 2023 on Clayton Road. Police said Valerian Mills followed her brother while he was riding his bicycle and rammed him.
Wow.
The victim took the same route nearly every day, which Mills knew. Prior to this, Mills' brother had sent her a text message telling her that she was cut off financially from the family, police said. I don't know why the brother has the
Had to
power to
take
do
this
so,
off.
but
Yeah.
that's what happened. This decision, being cut off financially, watch this, would cost Mills approximately $40,000 per month.
Wow.
She was getting $40,000 a month. And so I think I'd hit him with a car.
Hit him again.
After hearing that, right,
Pastor.
I'm understanding what she did. Now, at first I was, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But you cut me off $40,000
Yeah, that's
a
almost
month.
$500,000 a year.
You may have an issue too. So Ms. Mills, I can understand where you're coming from. No, I'm being
Right.
I am playing. I would not. $40,000 a month is not enough to hit somebody with a car.
Right.
That's crazy.
He's joking.
The victim, that's right. The victim suffered a concussion, internal bleeding, and several lacerations as a
Wow.
result. The St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office charged Mills with second-degree assault. Mills was given
That should have been attempted murder.
should have been. Mills was given a
But we know they
criminal
went on
summons to appear in court on November 26th. You know, as a pastor, as a Christian, as a former hospice chaplain, I can absolutely positively say that funerals, death, and dying and estates bring out the worst
Yes, it
in
does.
people
Yes,
because
yes.
when someone passes away and there is a clamoring to, you know, get paid, and in fact, there's been situations where as the person, I mean, the body was still in the home, still cold or still warm, people begin to argue over, you know, who gets Big Mama's necklace, who gets the ring, and
You're
going
right.
through the
You're
right.
drawers
Yes.
and stuff
Right.
like that. And it's across the board. It's not one race, one color. You know, it really brings out the worst in people.
Yes.
There was an article I did not get to that happened several weeks ago that it took place, I think, somewhere in the Northeast. And so this man was living with his mother, and the man had developmental issues. You know, he was, I don't know if it was autism. There was developmental issues. So when the mother died, she decided that in her will, she said that the house was to be sold. And when a house is sold like that, it's divided up over all the siblings.
Right.
So in her will, she said that the house is to be sold. The problem is she did not in her will specify
How she wanted him taken care
right
of.
how he's going to be taken care of.
Right.
So when the siblings came in from out of town and came to the house, this brother shot and killed every one of his siblings.
Oh my.
Wow.
Every one of his siblings, and then killed himself. And which of course is wrong. It's, you know, very bad. But, you know, I wish that the mother in life had the foresight to understand that, you know, when you pass away, you can't put off in death stuff that you should handle in life.
In life.
Yes.
So if you know that you have a grown son that is going to, and she tried to keep this will a secret in terms of that he wasn't getting anything, that the house wasn't going to him, that would be divided up. She never had this conversation with him prior to her death. She kind of left it as a surprise, almost like a cowardly exit.
Right.
I'm not going to have this conversation with you. I'm going to let you find out in the will that you have no place to stay.
Right.
Well, that didn't solve the issue. He killed his family.
Wow.
And
horrible.
yeah, estate planning is, and having that conversation and all that stuff is very important because your legacy will continue even after you're gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she didn't have something in place because, you know, you said he was mentally, he had some challenges. You would think she would put something in place to take care of that child who has, you know, disabilities. You know.
You would think, but I think the pressure was the other kids, she wanted to leave something to
For
them, and she wanted everything to be equal and everything like that. But, you know, he has development issues. It's just certain
He's
things
not understanding.
he doesn't have to be worked out. And
Right.
and we're learning in Bible class about communication.
Yes.
There's certain hard conversations
You have to have.
have
Yes.
and deal with certain things. You cannot simply kick the can down the road and not deal with stuff. And we sometimes have this bad habit of not dealing with things and
Right.
trying to avoid things. Well, if you avoid stuff like that, it's not going to make it better. It's just going to make it worse.
Yeah, that's a very tragic situation.
The reason why I said somewhere in West County is because when I worked in retail banking in Creve Coeur, I have a vivid remembrance of an encounter that happened where there was one child on the account with her mother as a POA. Well, we didn't open until 9, but she's out there just pacing around 8:15. Well, we know something's up.
Right.
So we decide to look into the obituaries, and her mother passed away.
Mm.
Her intent was to come in and get all of the money out of the
Wow.
account. But as you know, power of attorney ceased upon death of the person that you have the power of attorney on.
Yeah.
So she got in there and she was acting a fool in the bank. So we had to call the police. So it's
That's
unfortunate that
yeah.
happens
Right.
a lot.
I just, I
We
think
know
I'm
from the estate planning classes
Right.
that Sister Monique has done. She talks about
Mm-hmm.
getting your house. And I just got a whole new life insurance policy. When I was in my 20s, I got term life, which expires, I think, at the
Maybe
end of
20
2025.
years. Oh,
And so,
okay.
well, yeah, because you can get 20, you get 30 years.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
so I had to re-up, right, and get a whole new life insurance policy. And part of that is because, you know, if I don't want to be in a situation where when I pass away, that if they're still around, they have to go through all these different
Right.
means for burial and funeral. And not only that, but as a man, going back to your opening mantra, as a man, as a male, as a husband and father, you know, you have to make sure that your family is taken care
That's
of
true.
even after death.
Even
Because
after
if you don't, and here's the thing people don't understand about legacy, especially
It can
pastors
tarnish
and
it,
church leaders.
for
It
sure.
can. So if I die and it comes out that, you know, my wife and son, well, my son, he's growing, take care of himself. But no, my wife and son are destitute and all this stuff comes out. Then what that's going to do is everything
Yeah.
that I said in life
Yeah.
now is going to
Right.
be
Up
suspect,
for questioning.
up for questioning. So it's very important to look at your life, even your death, and make sure that everything is in order. So after you pass away, it's good, because you don't want your legacy to be questioned by poor planning.
Right.
And so my wife, if I pass away, you getting paid, sister. You getting paid. You are getting paid. I wish I could be around to see it, but I know you're gonna be getting paid. You're gonna get me paid. Money cometh. Come on, say it. Money cometh. Huh?
They coming.
Don't do that.
The money is coming. And so one reason I won't go on to that, but that's an important thing. Any other responses,
true.
First Lady?
I have no comment, Pastor.
Yes, sir. Right. Yes, sir, Pastor.
Yes, sir, Pastor. That's all. That's my
Second story coming out of the loo. Now, this is something I want everyone. You know what a bolo is?
Yes.
What's a bolo?
Be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Look at this.
Person of interest.
Right. This beautiful young lady here. St. Clair County seeks help finding a missing teenager last seen in the Belleville area. The byline is October the 4th, 2024. So this is today, 12:05 p.m. The St. Clair County Sheriff's Department is asking for the public's help in finding a missing teenager last seen in the Belleville area. This is her picture there, right?
nice looking girl.
Yeah. Naisha A. Hamilton, 18, was last seen on September 19th, according to a news release Friday from the Sheriff's Department. Hamilton could be in the St. Louis area, according to family members cited in the news release. Hamilton is a black female, 5'6", and weighs 108 pounds. She's black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information about her whereabouts, contact investigator Christian Gatelin at the Sheriff's Department, 618-825-5718. You know, there is, I forgot who it was, where it was, who said it, who we said it to. I forgot everything about it. Only thing I remember, though, is that someone said once, they were bringing up the disparity between how when there is a person of color that goes missing,
Right.
there is not the same news media coverage
Right.
as when your typical, you know, quote unquote, all American blonde,
Right.
blue eyed,
Right.
you know, and there should be attention there paid
Right.
too, but I don't know why. So she went missing. The article says September, when is going to go back? September, she was reported
19th?
missing September 19th.
2 weeks ago.
And they're just now putting a little small blurb about her. Right.
News coverage about that.
That's terrible. You know, there's
Unfortunately, it's like the same thing, different person, different family, whether it's that, and for whatever reason, it seems like the police or the authorities, whoever they may be, they handle it differently because I've observed where they'll ask parents, "Are you sure she just didn't run away?
Yep.
Are you sure she's just not mad? Or could she have been to a boyfriend house?" Like it's already these assumptions
Right.
of, "Oh, she's just being a typical at youth
Teenager.
risk,"
Right.
almost, as opposed to again how other stories can be handled. It doesn't matter. I mean, a group within their neighborhood will get together and canvas, even if the police doesn't. But if we don't know, we can't really assist.
Right.
But it is
Exactly.
handled differently every time.
There's a in-between age that I think parents have got to kind of wrap their minds around between, obviously, when a young person is between the ages of, infant, firstborn to in high school, there's this idea that the parent hopefully is very aware of their whereabouts and involved in directing where this child can go, where they cannot go. I do think and feel that curfews need to make a comeback.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Even among
absolutely.
high
Yes.
school students,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
curfews that's a good thing.
Yes, it
Yeah.
I
is.
think knowing where checking in,
Mm-hmm.
where
Right.
you're going to be when you get there, give me a call.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave there, give me a call. All of that stuff we talked
Yes.
about even on Wednesday night about having honest dialogue with
Right.
your young
Right.
people. So
Yes.
let's say, and these are my thoughts, if your young person is somewhere and they've been drinking, then they should be able to call their parents and say, "Listen, I need you to come pick me up because I've been drinking."
Mm-hmm.
And there should be a situation where they have to trust that that moment you pick them up, you're going to pick them up, you're going to take them home. And of course, as I said, there's a time and a place for everything,
Right.
but they should not feel in fear of not calling. I know there's a balance between
Right,
that
Right.
because,
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that your son, I guess our son, but your son, when
Our
he's
son.
if he were to call in high school, "Mom, I'm at this party, I got sloppy drunk and I need you to come pick me up." So answering that, and I guess he will call me.
Before or
right?
after
He
I
will
took
call
his head
me.
off.
But see, that's the problem. That's therein lies the issue first. Like, the real, remember, faith is my superpower. So, but there's a fine line, and I get that. I know it's wrong, and I don't want to come across
Well, I
as
do think it was one time he was at a party and you had showed up at the party as you were pulling up. He actually called you to get him because as you were pulling up, somebody who was older was showing up with some kegs.
right.
That
Now
was
I
when
didn't
you-
see the kegs when they
No,
first
but I'm
pulled
saying
up,
they
right?
were-
'Cause- right.
But he
But he
notified
saw it,
you.
right,
He
right.
saw it and he knew to call you.
Right.
So he hadn't drunk anything.
Right.
He just called you.
That's
so
what
you know,
he said.
he said he didn't drink anything, and he called you to come
Right,
and get him
right.
Yeah.
because
Well, it's a question that parents have to ask themselves. Do you want your child to feel comfortable enough to call you when they're drunk to pick them up? Or do you want them to not feel comfortable enough to fear the wrath of you and have that level of anxiety so they don't call you? That's a real question.
Right. You will want them to feel comfortable enough to call you. I would rather they notify me as opposed to notifying a friend
Yes.
who may have been drinking,
Especially
or
if it's a
something
girl.
too. Right. So
Right.
I would prefer that. They would notify.
So what I was saying though is that there is an age after, so that's 0 to high school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
College, post college, there still needs to be that watching out for
Mhm.
young women and young men. It takes on a
Right.
different tone. It's not, you tell me when and where and how. But as you can see with this young woman and this story, there still needs to be people watching and
Yes.
guiding and letting some of our young people know that the world is not as safe as they
No.
think it is.
Right.
It's
Can I
not.
say what I used to
Of
do?
course.
When I moved out on my own, and I stayed at home with my dad for a long time.
You were like 40 when you left?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, Pastor. I was grown. But when I moved
She
out on
moved
my
out of her father and in with me.
No, I didn't.
Soon
Will
as
you
she left,
stop
she got
it?
married.
That's not true. See, Pastor,
Go
you
ahead,
want to get
President.
your wife
Hey,
started. See?
do you want that banana split or not?
No, I don't now.
And that
you got me
that
started.
basket of
You
fries.
went there. You went
You
there.
were calm at first. Go ahead.
No, when I left my dad's house, I relocated out of state for the job that I had. And I had a nice little apartment and everything. And every day when I would come home from work, I would call my dad to say I made it home
Smart.
safely. And I did this because I was like, if I don't do that, you know, and like I said, I was single, I was on my own. I was like, if I don't do that, you know, something is wrong. And
Right.
the reason why I started doing that is because when we left high school, it was a girl we went to high school with, gorgeous girl. She was, you know, she was involved with somebody who killed her. She was dead in her apartment for days, and her parents, it was no alarm bells that went off because she wasn't close with her family. And so no matter what, I would call my dad, call my sisters, hey, I'm home safe.
Good.
You know, and if,
That's very smart.
Yeah.
Gigi has a good point. She says her kiddo and she have a system. She lets her know when she leaves and arrives to a location, even though she can track her location via phone, but it makes her feel better knowing where she is and she's safe. And she knows if she needs me to pick up the phone, no matter what. I stand by that, Gigi.
I did too.
You know, again, there's a fine line of instilling so much fear in a child where the child doesn't want to come and talk to you because they know they're going to get, you know, whatever, versus them feeling able to reach out for you. Because
Okay, let's go back to that. When our son was in high school, if our son would have called us ever and said he was out drinking, do you think we would have handled that? Oh, you know, I'll come pick you up. Do you think we would have done that? I mean, let's be real. I know you and I know me. And if he was in our house, especially because you're underage, you know, so I think I would have dealt with it in a disciplinarian fashion.
Okay.
It wouldn't have just been like, okay, I'll come and get you.
Right.
I'll come and get you. You would go sleep it off, and then you're going to get it.
All right. Now, and I don't disagree with that, but all I'm saying is that there's a time and a place for
Yes.
everything. So
Absolutely.
you want them to call and feel comfortable in the call. Then after that, they call. Of course, there's discipline and things like that, but you don't want the discipline to
Come in the
deter
moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
the
That's
calling
true.
out. You know, you want them to see, because at the end of the day, a drunk child is better than a dead child. And
That's
you
true.
don't want, you know, them to be, especially if it's a girl, you know, catching ride or being date
That's true.
raped or whatever. So you do want your kid to be comfortable enough to call you, to reach out. And there will be a time, obviously, you want to correct the behavior, you want to do the behavior, but you still don't want them to fear for their life, so they don't call and reach out. And I like to think, First Lady, that even had he called, that I would be level-headed enough not to, you know, engage and blow up. And I can't speak for you. You know, I won't say what you would do, but I think had he called me, I would have, you know,
Right.
picked him up, taken him home, you know, what have you. What do you think, First Lady?
I think that's probably why he would have called you.
Yes. And as
And
kids,
because you would be more level-headed. I would be probably emotional in that moment. You know, I would have been, you know, emotional. And he probably would have called you. Now it's hard because he's on a college campus, you know, and I wish we did have a system in place. Like there are some folks who don't live with their parents who they have that tracking app on. I would love to be able to track my son to make sure he's okay. I would love to be able to track him. No, because recently, it was just on the news, this woman was able to track her sister who had went down into a ditch, and they tracked her. And that's the
To
only
the
way she
ditch,
got
huh?
rescued. That's the only way. That's the only way she got rescued. She was in an accident, and the only way they were able to rescue her was because her sister had that tracking device when she didn't. Hear
Okay,
from
but
her.
the problem with that, First Lady, is that
Track 'em.
you would not simply be
Track
tracking
'em.
for a ditch. You'd be tracking. Where's my son? Is he late? Where is he at church? Why isn't he here? Where is he going? And so you don't need to track your son. You know, your son is 21, a grown
And
man.
he doesn't live in our home.
He
I
doesn't
get
live in
it.
your house. You do not need to track. Oh, look at this. Gigi says, my mom tracks me and I'm well over college age.
See,
Well, Gigi,
Thank you.
Gidget, first
Thank
of all,
you, Gigi.
I agree with Sister Regina. She needs to track you. And in fact, give Gigi, give me your track information. I'm gonna track you too. Okay.
It's a safety measure. You know,
It
this
is,
day
but-
and age. I mean, this young lady who is missing, she's 18 years old. She could have been out on her own in college, whatever. If somebody had a track, if her phone or whatever, she could be tracked, then maybe.
Maybe I'm wrong. Tatiana says she shares her location with people.
Yes.
So,
that's-
you know.
Thank you, ladies. That's what women do.
That's what
I was
women
just
do.
gonna say that was a good point that you made as far as being people knowing where you are. I think
Right,
is just
yeah.
a good thing, even
I
if
agree.
you are an adult.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, me personally, as a eligible.
She means a single lady.
Thank
Let me
you.
just cut to the chase. She means a single lady. She's trying to be all in the heavenlies. She's a single lady. She's single. Right. She's single and ready to mingle. That's
No,
all that
when
means.
I go somewhere with someone that I haven't been with, so AKA a date, I do.
Hold on, let
share-
me
That's
hold on,
right,
back
she
up.
shared.
I share
When was
my
the last
location.
date you were on?
Well, that wasn't the
That's
topic,
nothing wrong.
Pastor.
It's her, Pastor. She don't want to tell
I
us.
share my date with my sister
Right.
and one of my good friends.
And
I
that
do.
is
I tell them
smart.
where we're going, where we're
Yep.
going to be, and I leave it on for the duration of the time.
Exactly.
Just as a safety measure for me.
Right.
And I am the one who selected to do that. But the other thing that I was going to say, why it's important for children or young adults
Right.
to feel like they can tell their parents and share what's going on with them, is because we have to be aware of what the devil's tactics
Oh,
and tricks
definitely.
are.
Mhm.
And if they can't have that with their family, somebody's going to be planted in their life that they feel that they can have that with, and they're probably not going to have their best interests at heart. So.
Absolutely.
It's starting today. I want all HOD members to share their tracking information with me.
With their pastor,
I will set up a database.
your
and
phone's going to be.
if you are in the ditch, I want to know where you are. But I think with the case with your son, this is a good thing. Especially if you're going on a date. If you're going on a date, I think you're absolutely right. I think in your case with your son, though, he would have to agree to that. You
Yes.
can't just track
Well, he
somebody.
probably
You can't
wouldn't.
put
He's not.
can't put an air tag and just track
they're
him.
$79.99.
Right,
that's
exactly. You're a stalker, first lady. You are a stalker.
No, but I do think
I'm
that.
gonna start checking my car. Am I being tracked?
No, not at all.
Are you tracking me?
Not at all. But no, but because you do like to go camping and stuff like
I do,
that,
yeah.
I think that we should share location. If something were to happen.
Oh, check that out. Mother Jackie says her niece tracks her.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
told me
That's
that.
good.
absolutely.
Tara Davis says
She tracked
my
on hers.
mom lets me know when she makes it home from church every
Yeah.
Sunday night and Wednesday night.
Amen. Yeah.
Gigi said she has Regina. That don't call your mother by first name. You mean mommy? No. I got Regina tracking me. Don't need another FBI agent. They passed the battle.
Did she say last name Battle?
Yeah, she said I don't need another FBI agent. They ain't passed the battle. Well, Gigi, you know, if you
Watch
wanna,
it now.
they're right. You
We
know,
need to know what Starbucks she frequents.
exactly, exactly.
I mean, this day and age, I just
Yeah.
think it's a good safety
never be
measure.
too
Even
safe.
if he doesn't, back to my son, even if it's not us, but if he has friends.
I think Camille
know-
tracks them. From the
Well, she-
station.
I mean, if he had a friend circle and if they tracked each other, I think that's just a smart thing to do. You know, I
Yeah,
just do.
yeah. You know, although I made it
share
through
the
college and everything without being
But this
tracked.
is a different day and age.
That's true. That's true.
So the next time you go
But I
camping,
think-
I'm
That's fine.
I don't even know how to use the 360
That's
app,
fine.
but how do you track?
But
Teach her how to
How
track
do I
you.
teach me how to do it? So
yeah, I'll teach you. All right. But here's the thing you gotta realize though, if you track your son, you gotta be prepared
Oh,
to
never
get your
mind,
heart
never
broken.
mind. I
You know,
don't wanna-
he's so
I don't wanna-
well, you know, some
I
things
do
you don't
not-
want to know,
Yes,
That's
right?
true,
I
'cause
do
you
not
can't
wanna
unknow it.
That's right.
You
Never
can't unknow
mind.
it. No, but
That's
that's a good idea. From now on, after this podcast,
No,
over
no,
our
no.
banana split and basket fries, I'm gonna call our son and
No.
make sure he's being tracked.
No, sir. Never
Okay.
mind.
Well,
Never.
apparently everybody in the church shares their tracking information with people, and I'm the odd person out.
You
so
are.
it's good.
Oh, but actually, no, I don't need a tracking device.
Uh oh.
You know why?
Why,
What's
First Lady?
that?
Because my faith is my superpower.
First lady.
Tylenol.
Her
Laughing
faith
too
is her.
hard.
That's right,
Yes,
first
my
lady.
faith is my superpower. So
How many of you all know that sometimes it's your own people? So tell your neighbor.
Most-
Sometimes,
most of the times it's your own
as
people.
first lady says, it be your own people, right?
It be your own people.
This is a story coming out of Detroit. Touch your neighbor and say Detroit.
Detroit.
This is a crazy. Oh, hold on. This is a crazy situation. Tatiana said, "First lady." She started laughing. Look at this brother. Look at this brother right here. Okay, this looks like. I think this is a brother that I think Dorothy used to date. This brother. The Detroit judge suspended for humiliating black teen girl just returned to work to more bad news. Okay, so before I tell you about, let me keep this picture up. This is Judge, what's his name? Judge Kenneth King. Okay, brother Kenneth King, out of Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, shout out to Detroit, Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, Detroit Tigers. I like Detroit. Good city. Anyway, there was a field trip by I think a high school class that came to the courthouse to see how court proceedings were. Have you anybody heard the story before?
No.
I
Oh,
haven't.
good. I like breaking news. So in this courtroom, the judge is going through everything that he does and all the different trials. Well, there's one young lady comes in and she's a part of this class and she started dozing off, kind of like folks do in church on Sunday morning, right? So people are this young lady is dozing off. This judge gets in his feelings that this young black high school student is dozing off. He first goes off on her, young lady, this is a courtroom. You will respect me, blah. You will respect my authority, all this other stuff. So then he tells his bailiff to go take her out back or take her to the back, put a jail uniform on her,
Oh, wow.
bring her out in handcuffs and sit her in the courtroom in handcuffs in a jail uniform. And he's saying to her that, listen, you disrespected me and what I may do is throw you in jail for contempt of court.
Oh, wow.
So this young lady is a part of a classroom outing, field trip. She goes to see this courtroom. The black judge puts her in prison orange, handcuffs her. Remember, she's not on trial. This is not a court of law. This is merely an educational thing. Puts her in handcuffs in prison orange and threatens to lock her up. Well, as you might imagine, this caused an uproar.
Of
So when
course.
the uproar first started, there's a thing, he goes in damage control. He calls the girl's mother and says, I'm just trying to help her and I don't mind. I'll be her mentor and blah, blah, blah. And, I want to do all this stuff for her, trying to, because he knows. Then he
knows
hops
him.
on live and says, well, I really wasn't going to lock her up. And I was, just trying to teach her a lesson, so forth and so on. Well, at the end of the day, what ended up happening is once this got out, the whoever his superior court, whatever, suspended him as they should have.
Good.
They
Yes, he
suspended
should have been
him.
Suspended.
And the mother has come out. She has hired a wonderful law firm
Good.
in Detroit.
Good.
They're going to sue him and the security guards
Yes.
that locked her up.
Yes.
Because there is no immunity. And now normally a police officer or a judge has immunity within a court proceeding. The law firm says since this was not a court proceeding, he has no
right.
immunity. The bailiffs have no immunity.
Good.
So they're suing everybody in the courthouse,
Good.
from the judge, the bailiff, even the rat on the floor.
I know that's right.
So
Good.
right,
That's
suing
right.
everybody.
Yes.
And so finally Judge Kenneth King, who you see on screen, came back to work and they weren't done with him. He was a judge that oversaw felony convictions, murder convictions, all this stuff. Guess what he's doing now?
What?
He's on traffic tickets.
Oh,
He's
wow.
overseeing. They
So,
demoted him,
huge
so now
demotion.
he's on
Huge
Yeah,
demotion.
traffic tickets. Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people comment teacher did nothing. Teacher didn't do anything. This whole and I kind of see that because if you're in front of a crazy judge and
Yeah,
Yeah,
what are
what
you
could
supposed
what
to
say?
Yeah.
you lock the teacher up
The
too.
whole classroom, possibly.
The whole class, everybody can get it. You know,
You're in contempt. I don't like your teacher.
Judge
You know,
Kenneth
anything.
King said anybody
He
can
was
get it,
on
right?
one that day, as they say.
Man.
So that's not the only thing Judge Kenneth King was doing. Judge Kenneth King, and I didn't even know this was a thing nowadays. Apparently, there are a lot of judges out who are live streaming
Mm.
their courtroom proceedings, including a live chat. When this thing came out, it also came out that as Judge Kenneth King
Mhm.
was presiding and deciding who would go free and who would get locked up, he's also live streaming his court and commenting on live chat to people in the live chat.
Oh my.
How is that?
And so,
even
well,
legal?
Right.
what's happened is, well, here's what I think. Personally, I think what's happening is the celebrityfication of things. He's trying to get a TV deal. He's trying to be Judge
Yeah.
Matt. He's trying to be influenced. He's trying to gain a TikTok following,
Yes.
a
Mm.
So it sounds
YouTube
like.
following.
Mhm.
Basically, we're the rule of law and order now is a circus
Yes.
It
because of
is.
people like Kenneth King. And I think he really did. The reason I think he did this to this young girl, I think he did it for views and for likes. And you are seeing nowadays people
Right.
from judges to
Mhm.
pastors to preachers to mothers to teachers to whatever. I was on TikTok and I saw this teacher who was teaching live streaming in her class. While the class is going on, she's live streaming on TikTok in front of a whole class.
Wow.
And the kids would pop up on camera. And I commented,
You're
I
not
said, you're
supposed
going to
to.
lose your job.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no parent wants their kid.
Right.
Out there on TikTok.
On
like that.
TikTok.
Right.
But everybody nowadays
Mhm.
is doing everything for
For
the
likes.
likes.
Yeah.
And it's making a mockery out. And so I don't
Out
think
of
Kenneth
various
King
systems.
I think the reason he did this was to gain followers, and he got caught.
I think part of it probably is he was insecure. If he started off with you're disrespecting this courtroom, and it's saying, and the article is saying he's done things like this before towards minors of color or black minors, he probably has an insecurity thing, which you find a lot with people who are in authority.
Yeah.
They should be more stable than some of them are showing that they are.
Exactly.
Now, this girl, I'll just touch on, as a reminder, Judge Kenneth King was caught on courtroom Zoom scolding a 15-year-old, that's who she was, Eva Goldman, who was visiting her court as a part of a field trip this past August. King told local Detroit News, as a judge, he pressed the teen after noticing her fall asleep in the courtroom. However, his form of punishment went beyond rebuke, but resulted in ordering her to don a jail uniform, having her placed in handcuffs, and threatening to throw her in the juvenile detention center. That's terrible. And like I said, it's your own people. Here's a black judge doing this
Right.
to a black teen. That's terrible.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And I agree. They need to sue. You're right. They were
Everybody.
filed-
Everybody.
That mother needs to sue. I hope she gets paid.
Yes.
She
I hope
is.
she gets
does
paid.
too.
Yes.
I hope
she
Judge King is demoted. They made
He
him go
already
through
is.
fired, I should say. He already went through sensitivity training, but there has to be a better screening process.
Yes, that's what.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be more. I think he needs a harsher punishment. I don't think that's enough what they're doing already, because he could be abusing people with the traffic tickets.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like.
I
that
think
whole
every case he
situation.
was over needs to be reviewed.
Yes.
I was ready to say the
Again.
same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now check this out. Speaking of parents, and we're kind of doing this parent-child thing tonight. I want to get your thoughts on this because this is kind of controversial. Okay, read the article. Why parents are putting front wigs on their toddlers.
Oh my gosh! If I heard about that, these kids look ridiculous.
Breaking
They have
news,
different
breaking
colors.
news.
Yeah,
Breaking-
it's a thing.
Wow.
Why parents are putting lace front wigs on their toddlers?
Mhm.
Black TikTok is divided.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when going back to school for a little black girls meant a head full of braids, slicked down with plenty of ultra sheen
Yes.
and barrettes for days.
Yes.
Yep.
But as social media has shown us, again, back to social media,
Mm-hmm.
times have changed for some black parents who are opting to swap their hair grease, afro puffs, and barrettes for, you guessed it, lace fronts.
That's
Yes, you heard
crazy.
that right. As they send their little ones off to school, let me skip down past these commercials. TikTok is loaded with videos of parents gluing wigs on
Mhm.
kids as young as a year old.
That's
the youngest I saw was
insane.
2. Yeah.
Although some are going crazy over how cute the long hair makes the kids look, there's an equally vocal camp that is crying foul and calling the whole thing a form of child abuse. Whether you think the trend is cute or careless, it is important to be aware of the potential harmful side effects of using wig glue. Come on. I'm here to
Wig
rebuke.
glue.
I'm here to
Rebuke
rebuke
it,
wig
Pastor.
glue. No, wig glue. From now on, no wig glue is allowed anywhere on the premises of the House of Deliverance Church
Amen.
on young children. As Judy, a New York City, New Jersey stylist, told The Root, I would never put a lace front on a small child, she said. It can cause damage to their hairline. They could also have an allergic reaction
Right.
to the glue.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
If you need to see for yourself, check out this video of a beautiful baby with a pacifier having a lace front wig installed while sitting on what we can assume to be her mother's lap. And one post commenters are outraged by the act. Look at this. Look at this beautiful
ridiculous.
little baby girl. Pacifier and the lace front, true to form. And her
She
ear
can't even
pierced.
talk.
Right, can't even
Mama.
talk. Click here. Oh, I'm sorry. She looks like she is losing her edges already. You are forcing her to a life of wearing weaves
Yes.
because she will be balding by the time she's a teenager, wrote one person in the comment section. But a different post in the same video got a mostly positive response, with some people even asking how they could get a teeny baby wig of their own. So some of the parents are trying to get
They wanna
up
be
on some of
down.
these wigs.
Mhm.
Oh, she looks so cute, wrote
Mhm.
one commenter. TikTok was just as divided over wig influencer. I'm a Crystalashon's video of her putting a wig on her 5-year-old daughter for the first day of school after her hair appointment was unexpectedly canceled. So this is mother. Many chokehold cause nobody excluded. I don't care. Yes, she got it too. So she's squeezing this baby's head, trying to get a wig on her. I gotta be careful with this article. I don't want to read none of that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm
Pastor.
please pray for your pastor.
Okay.
Some people
Jesus.
were obviously outraged. Hey, so this is actually insane, wrote someone in the comment section. Others wanted critics to back off, pointing out that Crystal only used her daughter as a model to promote her products and took the wig off at the end of the video.
Why
Y'all
exploit your child like
y'all
that?
can't even hate cause she eats it, wrote one commenter. Another
Eat baby
commenter
food.
thinks there are better ways to make a kid that young look cute for school.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna stop on here and cut this article. So, is this child abuse?
It's insane. And I think it is. I mean, psychologically, already, this is what you're doing to this child. But this is not new. Look at some of those pageants that they used to have
I was
back in the
thinking
day.
of
And
that
those
little
were
Ramsey
small.
girl.
Yes.
Yeah, John Bonet.
Mhm. And I think it's just too young. You're exploiting your child.
Yeah, we're
Mm.
over here.
This day and
go
age,
ahead.
with these sickos out here,
That's
you're
true.
going to put your
That's
child.
true. That was one aspect of it that I was thinking about. But the other one that I'm thinking about is it's taken away the innocence and the youth of children,
Exactly,
I
yep.
think. And that's what society itself is doing. So this is just a continuation of it in a whole different form.
Exactly.
So they're already forcing sexuality on them at a
Yep.
young age. Then they're
Yep.
forcing gender identity on them. And then now you're going to force them to look like or become. You're setting up in their heads this standard of what beauty is, and they are not beautiful unless they do this,
Yep.
that, and the other. It's the first day of school. This is how you want to present
Yep.
yourself. They're too young to make
Too young.
that choice, and
Yeah.
I think it's irresponsible on the parents' part to
Yeah.
just make them subject to that. I mean, I
agree.
understand
I
that
agree.
appointments are being canceled, but as one of the commenters said, there's other things that you can do to children's hair. They're still growing, they're still
Right.
developing.
Yep.
You don't know what you're interrupting
Right.
or cutting off altogether
Yeah.
by subjecting them to that. And there's been studies out about where this even real human hair comes from.
Mhm.
That you could be creating
Yeah.
infection, alopecia, anything. Don't
Exactly.
open
Right.
them up to those things.
Right.
At one, at two, sucking on a
That's
pacifier.
ridiculous.
Give them some Gerbers.
Yeah.
And call it
Right.
a day. You know?
Gigi has a good point. She says, by doing this, the parents are giving them self-esteem issues at an early age of life.
That's exactly
Like
what
they
I'm
have to
saying.
look a certain way
Right.
to be. I think that's absolutely true. In fact,
Mhm.
I think that you're creating a stronghold
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
for these
Uh-huh.
kids,
Definitely.
a
Yeah.
stronghold of appearance,
Right.
of
Yeah.
beauty, of always having to be on.
Yes.
I'm a proponent, and I am a vocal advocate of this movement called "Be Comfortable."
Yes.
Be comfortable. movement.
Amen.
And thank you. I think
Yes,
that
ma'am.
we need
Mhm.
to pull back from all of this hyper stylized living and
I
be
agree.
comfortable. I think we
I
need to
agree.
live comfortable in terms of let our house don't decorate stuff that's too hard to clean, too hard to keep up.
You don't
You
want
know,
nobody to sit on it.
Don't want to sit on it.
Mhm.
Wear comfortable stuff. Denim is absolutely wonderful. You know,
Yes.
anything that you got
Yes.
to take to dry cleaners, then be very, mindful of that.
Or selective.
Right?
Yeah.
Selective.
I agree.
Be comfortable. Wear comfortable shoes. Have comfortable hairdos.
Mhm.
Just be comfortable.
Yes.
And because life is too short to be
Yes.
squeezed and
All
squozed
the
and,
time.
and doing things.
Yes.
I wear the same clothes a lot. Now, when I say same clothes, I don't mean the same clothes. The
Right.
same. I buy like I have like
multiple
Mm-hmm.
things.
7 different of the same suit,
Uh-huh.
same maker, same size, same everything,
Mhm.
same shirts.
Mhm.
But it's easy. I know what I'm
Mhm.
gonna wear.
That's your uniform.
Bam, bam, bam. Right.
Mhm.
But being comfortable,
Yes.
having these babies in these wigs and glued lace front, like Gigi said, you're creating
Yeah.
a stronghold
Already.
Absolutely.
that everything's about how they look.
Mhm.
Not to mention at that age, how can you play at school with a lace front? I mean, you're taking away their childhood. How are you going to play? I'm thinking at that young age, with your hair done, you're going to be acting like your mother. Oh, I just got my hair done. I'm not
Right.
going to play.
Right. You're going to mimic and
Don't-
imitate what
but
you
you're-
sing.
exactly.
Absolutely.
They need some boho braids, yes.
It's comfortable.
Two things. The parents are giving their kids complexes, right?
They are getting them
And they're
complexes.
also making them targets because
Mm.
if you are the prettiest girl in the class and another young girl has self-esteem issues for whatever reason, then they're going to pick on you because you think you better, you look better. But the kid didn't do it. It's just their mother's insecurities and they're living through their children.
Vicarious.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Let me
Yes,
touch
that's
that.
it.
I think the
That's it.
mothers,
Mhm.
sometimes
Living
mothers and fathers,
vicariously through their
we
Yes.
we position our kids as though they're
Mini you.
fashionable representatives of us.
Mhm.
And the truth of the matter is these young ladies with these lace fronts and all that stuff, that's not what the kid wants. I
No.
guarantee no kids wants to sit in some
Chair on
beautician
somebody-
shop
Right.
getting a lace front.
But that's true. Back to the word that you said, comfortable.
Be comfortable.
First, be
Saints.
comfortable in who you are and
Yes.
yourself, and
Yes.
that'll be depict or expressed in everything that extends from you.
Be
But
comfortable.
trying to do it that outward first as opposed to inward, you
Inward.
got to do the inward work and then it'll extend out.
Challenging
Exactly.
house deliverance,
Mhm.
where you go into your closet this weekend, pull out stuff you know you are not going to wear, that's too tight, that's too uncomfortable. Go into your bedrooms, make your bedrooms your sanctuary,
That's true.
make it a comfortable place. Wash your sheets, get a nice
Mhm.
down comforter. You know, prioritize your sleeping space. Make your
Yes.
home a very
Amen.
comfortable castle, because you
Amen.
need to be
Yes,
able
yes.
to feel
Yes.
at ease
Absolutely.
within
Yes.
your space.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing. I noticed even with my father, you know, his level. I mean, he is the comforter
Most
in chief,
comfortable
right?
person we know.
This brother, I mean, he wears Crocs to Bible class, his hoodies to Bible class. I mean, he's a comfortable man.
That's
He is
true.
a comfortable man. But you know what? I saw this other TikTok. This guy said, this lady said that when you get a certain age, you don't care how your life feels to you, not how it looks to others.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to be
That's
said for
good.
that.
That's
you,
true.
You know,
How it
you
feels to
stop
you. Okay.
dressing and presenting
For the masses.
for the
Mhm.
masses and
Mhm.
start. And if other people have a problem with
Their
how
problem.
you roll, how you get down, how you eat, how you move and groove, as some
Mhm.
people say,
Hold
then
on.
you know that's on them. Because, and I don't
Right.
mean, and I know that somebody,
That's
well,
true.
Pastor, you're suggesting people can sin and you can, you know, people don't have.
That is
No,
not
I'm not
what
saying
I'm
that.
saying
That's
at
not
all.
what I'm
No
saying.
people.
I'm saying in terms of, you know, you live your life.
Yes.
You live your life and live it unapologetically. Don't apologize for what you like, your what you don't like. If you want to hang out at this place or don't want to hang out this place, you know, don't try to force yourself into liking certain types of movies or
Right.
music or whatever.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
like what you like and
Yes.
you leave it at that. I
Yes.
find myself, even when it comes to food,
Mm.
I may eat the same dish just on repeat, like 3 or 4. I have like maybe 4 dishes that I just cycle through.
Mhm.
And this variety is overrated.
Yeah.
Variety is overrated. You know, for most of human
Calm down.
society, we ate the same thing
That's
or similar
true.
things. We dressed in the same thing or similar
True.
thing. It's a function of the 21st century where we feel that we have to go out and
Yeah,
one
there's some folks.
night we're having Ethiopian, the next night we're having Korean, the next night we're having
Ghanaian.
right. I mean, you know, just
Yeah.
go home, make you some
Chicken
noodles,
rice.
right, and just eat it till the
Corn.
wheels fall off of it. You know, but
That's
go ahead,
true.
Mercer. You digress because you like them basket fries and banana splits. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there are some people who will not wear the same outfit in a year.
Mm. Mhm.
You know,
They're crazy. They're crazy.
there are some people that
They're
yeah.
crazy. You got to wear
You know
what's
what-
comfortable.
You know what was
Mhm.
funny as you
What's
were
that?
talking about how you buy things that are comfortable to you and you do just different colors on it. I'm probably gonna age myself, but 20 years ago on Grand, your dad said the same thing.
Really?
Bishop said, "When I
Wow.
find a suit I like, I buy it in
That's
every
right.
color that they got."
Wow.
Well, see, I don't get it in different colors.
Mhm.
I
He
always
gives
get
them
the
in
same
black.
color.
They're all
Yeah.
black.
Yeah,
suits.
that's true.
That's true though. It's
Mhm.
it's but I guess men can do that easier than women. Women have to kind of spruce stuff up.
No,
I'm not much
not
of a
really. I
spruce.
think.
I leave that for the trees. Ear.
Oh, that's right. All right, so next door we got a few more. Then we're gonna call it a night. I gotta
Okay.
get this my beautiful first lady banana
She
split.
want it.
I'm good. I
She
don't
want
need
the
one
banana
tonight.
split,
I don't
huh?
want one tonight.
She's being humble.
I don't
It's a
want one
treat.
tonight. I have to have
That's
a
not-
taste for it.
That's not. She's developing a taste for it.
No,
When we
I
leave here,
don't
she will
want
have
one.
the taste.
I don't want one.
Tatiana says, I will buy something in different colors if I like. That's right, Tati.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so look at your phones. How many of y'all remember and know him? You know who this is?
I don't see nothing on my screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. Who is that?
Oh, Reginald.
Yes.
Was he from Family?
Yes.
Carl Winslow
I
from
accidentally
Family
cut it
Matters.
off.
Wait, so
I
Family
see.
Matters, Reginald Vale Johnson claps back
Junior.
at the wild rumors about him and Diddy. Still more Diddy fallout.
Oh my.
Wow.
So apparently, that's right, Carl. Apparently,
Carl.
Diddy.
Not Carl.
Yeah, Diddy. The scandal surrounding the arrest of Sean P. Diddy Combs on charge of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking have drawn several famous names into the controversy, and some of them have been very unexpected. One celeb who no one thought would be mentioned as a part of the Diddy sex scandal is Family Matters star Reginald VelJohnson.
Not
That's right,
Carl
aka
Winslow.
Carl Winslow.
No.
Yes.
He's a
That's
police
conspir-
officer. I
Yes.
just don't believe
No, no, no,
Don't
no.
believe it.
No.
I knew something was up.
No.
The way he used
No.
to treat Urkel, and you know,
No.
I
He
just-
just wanted Steve to go home.
That's
Yes.
right. Go home.
as conspiracy theories and rumors around the rapper producer's scandalous life circulated the internet, a particularly wild rumor said Diddy was allegedly caught in a sexual act with the TV.
I don't believe that. I think some of this stuff are
Oh,
internet
help
folks,
us, help
internet
us, help
trolls
us.
making
Yeah.
stuff. and
All
trying
right,
to
I'm just
capitalize
reading
on
the
it.
story.
I
Let
don't
me
believe
just
it.
read the story first. This all started back in April when comedian Luce Cannon claimed he saw VelJohnson and Combs having sex at one of the music moguls' infamous party. Now, Carl, I believe, is openly homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's openly homosexual.
That's not what you meant. What's his real name?
VelJohnson, you're right.
Reginald
Reginald.
VelJohnson.
Okay.
Of course, it's not say that he was involved with Diddy.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right. Exactly.
That was all it took for the internet to run with a rumor, even though there was no real proof to
Right.
any of this, and it was all just talk. But as we know, truth and facts don't always matter on social media.
Exactly. It's a shame.
Unfortunately for VelJohnson, this has all emerged just as he's making a small comeback by competing on the current season of Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of talking about what he's doing on the show, this
Right.
nonsense is following him around. Now the actor's putting a stop to all the speculation with a definitive statement about the controversy. TMZ recently caught up with him outside the dance rehearsal space for one of his awkward street interviews, and the diehard actor let everyone know. Oh, I can't read that. So
wow.
this is this Diddy fallout. I mean, it's encompassing
Yes.
a lot. It's like the black, what's that guy, Jeffrey Epstein,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
where a whole bunch of people were on his plane. A
Yeah.
whole bunch of people, a lot of politicians were
Mhm.
caught up with that.
Mhm. I
That's
think it's a
unfortunate.
shame because right now, I mean, there's so many stories on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
People could say anything,
Right.
you know, and without even vetting the information, without any proof, they run with it. You know, you could be destroying this man's life.
That's
You
true.
know, he doesn't have to have anything to do with that. And there were some celebs I heard say that they have been at Diddy parties, but had no parts of what other stuff was going on. But I mean, you shouldn't have been there. But
you're gonna
guilty by association.
Yes, you're
but
gonna
in this
find
case,
some
Mhm.
that were telling the truth,
Mhm.
some that were
Right. It's gonna be a
lying,
mix,
some
yeah.
were doing in the
Mhm.
mix. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they did come out that Denzel Washington. He said he was at the party, and then he went off on P. Diddy
Mm-hmm.
over what he saw. What's that guy, Marlon Wayans, on
Mhm.
another podcast? It's doing almost as well as ours. Club
I
Shay
saw that,
Shay.
Shay
Yeah.
Shay.
He said that, well, I was at the party, but I would always leave before this stuff would break out. And so,
but
I
if you
mean,
knew about it,
well, that's the thing. You
nobody
know,
went to the authorities.
His party, a lot of people are going to get
Mhm.
in hot
Dealt
water.
with.
Yeah, but
with
it's
this
some
party.
folks who I believe had, you know, like, I don't want to believe Carl Winslow.
I hope not. I hope not.
I just think that, you know, it's somebody's word against his.
Right.
And
Well,
no proof at this point. It's no proof.
At this point,
Yeah.
the proof is
Mhm.
certain to come because they
I'd
do
like to
have
give him the benefit.
thousands of hours of videotape.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
That's true.
I hope Carl
I hope he's
Winslow
in
is
there.
not involved in
right.
it. But you know what? It's amazing. I was just talking about Bill Cosby though.
Yeah.
They have a lot of unfortunately not a lot, but there are of that era, the black fathers,
Mm.
you know, have really, even the Bill Cosby, no one would expect it. Although they said that Bill Cosby, it was an open secret in Hollywood that he was a freak.
Oh,
Mhm.
I
And he
never
would,
knew that,
they
yeah.
said people, in fact, that's how he got
Yeah, that's
exposed
true.
because
That's true.
his publicist said, put an online post, say something about Bill Cosby. One of the posts said he needs to be arrested because he's a rapist.
Oh, wow.
And that just spun. But people in the industry apparently knew that Bill Cosby
Mm.
would get down like that.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So it's just one of them things. Speaking of how
Right.
this is our last story. Speaking of famous black father actors, this last story. What's wrong? This last story. It's not moving. This last story is of who is the good father, good times.
Oh, James,
John Amos.
John
Yeah, John.
Amos.
My story's now moving up. Anyway, what I thought was interesting in that is that it came out on Monday that he died,
Mhm.
but he actually died on August the 21st.
That's what I recently
Really?
heard.
Yes,
yeah.
it came out Monday that he died, but he actually had passed away on August 21st. And the reason the family did not share it then is because the family wanted privacy, and they did not tell anyone that
Wow.
Yeah,
he
he
had
has some
passed away.
children or something that didn't know. One of his sons recently said he didn't know. He found out when the world found out about
Wow.
it. So
That's kind of
crazy.
shady, you know.
yeah,
It is.
son or daughter, I can't
Yeah.
remember.
There's a TikTok video of him and his son, and it's very sad because he was on the outside of this hospital, this nursing home, and this one of his family, it wasn't even a family member, it was a person connected with the family. You know, one of these latcher ons
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
was saying, John, you got to come back to the hospital. I don't want to go back in there. I don't want to go.
Mm.
No, you have to come back. And the son was trying to argue with this other person. No, he doesn't want to go back. So he's trying to tell his son to stop arguing, just be silent and stop all the yelling. The person out the window, there's a policeman there. Everybody trying to get him into this hospital, and he didn't want to go in the hospital.
Mm.
The latter half of his life was very rough because of a lot of family members that
Mm.
it seems didn't really care about him,
Right, right.
but were just cashing in on him, which is a sad
Yeah, that's
ending.
unfortunate.
Sad, yeah,
You know, he had some strange people in his family.
Mm-hmm.
it's too bad.
That is
Yeah.
unfortunate. Yeah.
So I mean, I respect the family's right to have
Yeah,
that
they have
private,
that
but
right.
it's a shame that
Yeah.
you have to go out in that way, in that form and
Right,
fashion.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
too bad.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, First Lady, any final thoughts? Anything? We did not talk politics. We did not
No,
talk.
we did not.
Although I had an article that Trump recently mentioned that he wanted a purge.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
hear
A real
Yes, he
purge.
did.
This is not made up.
Yeah.
Trump
Wanted
said
a
he wants a
purge.
purge where all criminals, a day of law enforcement, where
just go in
where
and-
they could go and
He
really
said, I bet you that will stop the
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah, so when we're getting
Wow.
very close to the election, and we of course are
He's
understanding.
not, I'm just going to make this comment. He's not really, the stuff that he says, he knows that no matter what he says, his supporters are going to support him no matter what. So he's not even really, he's not trying to win over anybody. He's just saying it like it is and believing that he will get elected. And he probably will.
I don't know. I mean, it's
Hmm.
it's close, but if he doesn't, you know, it's one of those things where people know, you know, what's happening. They know at this
Mhm.
point
Mhm.
who they're voting for.
Right.
No one is,
Everybody
not
knows who he
hid,
is.
right,
He has
closed.
not.
you know,
Yeah.
if
No.
if
He's
they
been
want
very
him,
transparent.
they
If they
want
want him,
him,
that's what they
and
want.
Right.
most of this country wants him. Here's an
Absolutely.
article real quick. Donald Trump evokes the purge after saying one really violent day of policing would end crime. This is what he said. This is not a made-up quote. This is
Yeah.
what he says. Donald Trump says one really violent day for police officers, basically do whatever they want to do, would end crime. So I know some people say, "Oh, but you know, he's just playing around. He's just
No,
joking."
he's
No,
serious.
nothing he's done has been
But-
good.
Exactly. Everything he says.
Right, but
believe
that's
him.
believe him, but that's even missing the point. If you're broadcasting to police officers,
Right.
that
Right.
you're behind their violent day, that means when they get
If you become
Yeah.
the commander in
right
chief,
commander
they
chief,
already know they're
then
covered.
there's going to be no federal prosecution
Mhm.
for police
No
officers, anything like that. And it's one of those
He's
things.
already said he wants, part of Project 2025 is to give police complete immunity if they are on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And who is this going to affect most? People of color.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So going back to the other argument, you know, it may be in 2024 a good thing to have your grown kids on
Tracking.
some kind of tracking thing,
Exactly.
especially
That's
your
my
young black
point.
men. I get you,
My
First
son,
Lady.
that's my point.
I get you. I get
That's
you.
why we
I
need
feel
to
you.
track you. For
Because
safety reasons.
right, safety and other reasons.
And other
But-
Safety reasons.
Right.
Only safety reasons.
But what's happening is that Trump is saying that he wants a purge.
yes.
I mean, this is going from Hollywood to horror to strange.
yes.
And saints of God, we've got to be prayed
Right.
up and
Absolutely.
understand everything. It's
Absolutely.
everything. Well, I certainly hope that you all have enjoyed yourself spending a Friday evening
was
with us here at
fun.
HOD
I-
Live.
Mhm.
First Lady, give us a status of your taste.
It's-
You in the mood for a
Oh, no,
banana
I'm
split?
No, I'm
You
not.
sure you're not?
I'm sure.
Tomorrow?
I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. but
Maybe
not
tomorrow.
tonight.
Okay. Basket of fries in the mood for that.
No.
Okay. Eating clean.
I was craving those the other night.
A basket of fries
That's what I was craving the other night.
and a Fanta orange.
Not tonight.
Not
no.
tonight. Okay. Tonight's
Not
still
tonight,
young.
Pastor.
It's still young. All right. You
Those
go
are my
home and eat your
indulgences
chicken
sometimes.
salad. And we hope you had a wonderful shout out to Ariel. Ariel didn't chime in. She ain't say she's
Oh.
watching. She's down in
Ariel is
Nashville.
not thinking
Living
about
it up.
us. That's
She
right.
she probably watched some other church podcast now. She's
She
thinking
ain't
about
watching
us.
no church.
Right.
She ain't watching no church podcast.
Uh-oh.
She socializing with
Uh-oh.
her friends.
Check your app. Check your app. Where is she? Check your app. That's right, Tatiana. Tatiana says the night is still young. It's time for a banana split. Amen.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You enjoy yourselves. See you all when we see you.